Welcome back to another episode of the Glacier Guys podcast. I'm your host, Joey Fernandez, and I'm here with a special guest.
Hey everyone, my name's Omar Shalabi. I am a second-year student here at Moraine Valley, and I'm looking forward to this conversation.
Yeah, we're going to be talking some NFL, some NBA, some MLB today. All right, we'll start off with the Super Bowl. I mean, that's the biggest topic of the week, obviously.
Right.
So tell me your thoughts going in. As far as who you thought was going to win or how you thought the game would go.
Well, I after the AFC Championship game, which I was so excited for. I mean, watching the Bengals, a team you didn't even expect to go into the playoffs once the season started, to not only beat the best team in the AFC, but, to be the complete underdogs and make it to the Super Bowl was fantastic. And then, once the playoffs started, I sort of expected the Rams to make it. I mean, they're pretty much a super team.
Yeah, of course.
And with Aaron Donald on that team, I mean, that's a brick wall. So, I mean, going to the Super Bowl, I was, honestly, I really didn't have a side because at that point I was just like, dude, whoever wins this game is just whoever wants it most.
Yeah. That's fair.
And I was just like, okay, this is either going to be a really good game or just complete one-sided.
Yeah, my projections going in were I want the Bengals to win just for the storyline. I thought it was pretty sick, and the Bears beat them, so I could just hold my head on that.
Right.
And then after that, I was kind of like, but I think the Rams are going to win, not going to lie.
Yeah, I mean, and another thing is Burrow pretty much, making it in his pretty much his first season. Because his first season was just cut short, and it's like, man, this guy has complete
He's got the magic.
Yeah, I mean, no messing around.
Yeah.
And for such a young guy, I mean, like, honestly, we see all these like legendary quarterbacks retiring, Breeze, Roethlisberger, all these guys,
He's
and
the
these guys that
throne.
we grew up with, right? And we're all like, oh man, it's sad to see him going. But if you look at these upcoming quarterbacks, we got Mahomes, we got Allen, we got Burrow,
and Herbert,
my
personal favorite. Yeah.
And honestly, if we get the right coaching, Fields.
Oh yeah,
I mean, the guy was fantastic.
He's got the tools
with Ohio State.
Of course.
I mean, so I'm really excited for the future of the NFL. Yeah,
as far as the game goes, I think I wanted the Bengals to win, as I said, but I thought the Rams would win in a more convincing fashion. Not gonna lie, just because I thought the main thing was that the offensive line would not be able to hold that defensive line down.
Absolutely.
And I mean, it kind of showed at the end, but it didn't show as much as I thought it would, just because the Rams offense wasn't able to move the ball after Odell got hurt. Which sucks, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, that was a complete big loss to the Rams.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and, the fact that, Cooper Kupp was just unbelievable.
I don't know. I have no explanation.
So uncoverable, that guy, for a slot receiver. Just so uncoverable. And it's like, you're watching this game, and it's like, holy crap, this game is really close.
Yes. Yes.
And it's like, and I don't know about you, but I completely lost track of time. I mean, I'd be watching the game, and it'd be like late in the first quarter, and then it's like, oh wait, we're in the third quarter already.
You saw the halftime show come up. You're like, what?
Exactly.
Thought it was still 10 minutes left.
I feel like we could also talk about like the fact that on the biggest, grandest stage, of the league, we had some pretty terrible play calling. I'm sorry, not play calling. Refereeing.
Yeah.
And I feel like these days refs, especially in the NFL, I feel like they need to be held accountable for this stuff.
Yeah, it really sucks when it has an outcome on the game. I mean, I don't think it was too bad, but like the T. Higgins touchdown was just blatantly
how they missed.
What are you guys looking at?
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't believe they missed that. I mean,
he just phantomly fell down. You know what I mean? Like, come on. Like,
I mean, it's Jalen Ramsey. You know what I mean? I mean, the guy makes a mistake. He's human, but it's like that was just blatantly.
He got dragged down.
Literally, quite literally, just dragged away. You know what I mean?
I mean, hey, credit T. Higgins. I guess you knew that.
I mean,
some secret strat or something.
Do what you can to win. I mean, it's a Super Bowl. You know what
exactly.
I mean?
And there were those that play where Aaron Donald lined up off sides. I mean, I don't think that really mattered that much. But
yeah, I mean, I don't think that one had as much of a effect on the outcome as the T. Higgins one did. I mean, at the end of the day, the Rams won. You know,
exactly.
But it's like,
I think they would have won either way.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. I feel like, you know what? I was watching something the other day. Burrow didn't have that good of a game.
No.
You know? I mean, his only 2 big plays were that one, and then his other one to Jamar Chase.
Yeah,
and all his other plays were, underthrows or overthrows.
Yeah.
So it was actually really surprising to see how close that game was.
Yeah. It's credit to the Bengals defense, in my opinion. They like after the first quarter, they really didn't give much up. They only gave up 23 points. That's a very small amount for today's NFL.
Would you say that the Rams were the best offense in the league this year?
Man, I think I still give it to the Chiefs or the Bills.
Yeah,
I think I still give it to the Bills.
That's fair.
Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
That's why it's a miracle that the Bengals were even in this position, because I thought the 2 best teams in the NFL played each other in the divisional round. Which is ridiculous, but
talk about that game was ridiculous. That game was.
I still can't get over that game to this day.
Me neither. That one and the Chargers game.
Ooh,
what's his name?
With the Chiefs,
off.
Travis Kelce.
Yeah, man.
I mean, that was ridiculous. I had him in fantasy football, and that was the night I went to see Spider-Man.
Oh, nice.
So I just checked my phone, and I was like, oh, I think I won this week.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, because it was a Thursday night game, I believe. So.
Yeah, I mean. Yeah, man, the AFC is just so tough.
No, that's why it's like the Bengals fans are saying we'll be back, but
I don't
will
think
you
so.
really?
I
don't know. Like,
and if Aaron Rodgers goes to Denver, man,
good luck, especially with that defense and the wide receivers they have there.
Exactly.
And the running back duo they have. I mean, nothing's really stopping them if they get a quarterback.
Man, dude, the NFC, I mean,
the NFC is kind of wide open right now.
It really
especially
is.
if Aaron Rodgers leaves.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Rams make it back.
No, yeah, because they're going to keep the same team. I think Odell stays, and I think Von Miller's going to test free agency, but I think he'll ultimately come back.
Probably. And I mean, you have Cooper Kupp, who could, easily do. I mean, with a quarter. I mean, nothing against Jared Goff. I mean, he was a good quarterback in his own right, but Stafford is just.
I think you're being too nice to Jared Goff, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, he had those first couple good seasons, and that one year they went to the Super Bowl, but I mean, he sort of fell off a little bit.
Yeah, he had the McVay system behind him. That's what I think. And when too. Todd Gurley was just tearing everybody everybody up.
I think that's another guy who deserves more credit than he's given is McVay. I mean, when he showed up to the Rams, they were
7-9
team.
Oh.
And I mean, he quickly turned them into competitors.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's, sure, it's a testament to the players, but I mean, it's ridiculous what this guy was able to do with this team, and I'm actually kind of happy for him too, just like Stafford, but I'm happy for him too, because that Patriots Super Bowl a couple years ago was just a mess.
Oh my God, yeah. It was just that defense was so vaunted. It's just so tough.
Right.
It was impossible for both teams to move the ball that game.
Yeah, I mean, what was the final score, like 14-7 or something like that?
It was something like,
I think it was like the lowest scored Super Bowl in history.
It was like 10-3 at halftime or something like that. I know ridiculous. Sony Michel scored one of the only touchdowns, which is funny.
Yeah.
For the other team that he's playing for now, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's ridiculous. And it's like, I think in the NFL, I feel like, I mean, we've seen this throughout history. If you have a better defense than the other team has a better offense, then you probably have that game in the bag. But sometimes you'll have situations like, what was it, 2000 when the Bears go to the Super Bowl, 06, 07?
Well, they went to the Super Bowl, yeah. It was 2006.
The best defense in the league, right? And Rex Grossman just sort of threw it all away.
Yeah. I mean, Peyton Manning just kind of overmatched us that game. We had the kickoff return to start the game, and that was about it.
That's I mean, how could you start so well? I mean. Yeah, I mean, that's another thing. The NFL released the Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah. Did
you see that?
I forgot about that. Yes. I mean, Devin Hester not making it is a crime.
Yeah, I mean, crime. I could understand it, but at some point they got to add him.
You got to. The thing is, like, I get special teams. The value isn't as much as an offensive dominant player or defensive dominant player. You know what I mean? But he was the best at his position,
dude.
No matter how important the position is.
When you draft a list of some of the hardest things to do in sports.
Oh my God!
In sports, not just football, but in sports, punt returning and kick returning is
you can get murdered.
There. It's up there.
You can get murdered.
What do you have? What do you have? Like 45 guys? Is that how many guys you have running at you?
Yes.
At
full speed, grown men.
Yeah, exactly.
all world athletes running at you full speed, trying to take your head off.
Yeah, and you got to run 100 yards.
Yes, to the other
complete opposite end of the field through them.
Yes.
I mean, I don't understand.
Even the kickers are like big guys sometimes.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Those are like they're considered like puny on that field, but in like all reality, they're pretty muscular guys sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, say what you want about, Hall of Fame caliber or, the fact that he was a special teams player. That man deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he's the definition of a Hall of Fame player relative to his position.
I mean, if they want to add referees to the Hall of Fame, then I feel
ahead.
like, go ahead, but it's like, you got to add the players. That's an interesting
thought. I've never even thought of that.
I mean, I was looking at one of the guys who was inducted this year was a referee.
Oh, I didn't even know that. Really?
Yeah, it was an older referee of some sort, and I was just like,
I know they do that for baseball, but I didn't know they do that for the NFL.
Some of the other guys they passed on. Reggie Wayne.
Yes.
Andre Johnson.
Ooh, Andre Johnson. That hurts. That really hurts.
How do you skip over these guys?
I don't know. He was a top 4 wide receiver for a long time.
Yes.
And Reggie Wayne, he took over from Marvin Harrison, and then he took off running. I mean, he was good for a very long time also, so it's very tough. They did the same kind of. I mean, Terrell Owens didn't make it right away either, and he's one of the best receivers like ever. It's all because he was kind of a dick.
Yeah.
That's really all it was.
Yeah.
It's like it's crazy.
I mean, say what you want about Hall of Fame quarterbacks. These quarterbacks need receivers to throw to.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And it's like you have a guy like Reggie Wayne who sort of helped Peyton Manning's career take off the way it did.
No, yeah. He's the one. He helped take Peyton all the way to the end of his Indianapolis tenure, and then Demetrius Thomas took over from there for his career.
Exactly, and it's like I think football is the ultimate team sport, right? And you gotta consider all the pieces that play a part in these games.
Yeah,
and it's like, and that's another thing about Hester. It's like, dude, that punt return or that kick return, helps a lot.
Yes, no, yeah. Field position is a very underrated part of the game.
That too. Well said. I mean, that's a great example. I mean, like, you have a guy who returns it back to your own 30, 40-yard line. Dude, that's a one more play and you're in field goal range.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And think about it compared, like for his team.
That too.
The situation that his team was in. The Bears' offense was never good.
Never
ever good while he was on that team. So they could take all the field position they needed. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, they needed that. They needed that extra 15 yards.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, if you're banking on Kyle Orton or Rex Grossman to do anything, that's 60% of the time, it's not going to happen.
That's a risk. And another thing to keep in mind is I think the Bears have consistently had, if not the best, a really good defense for a long time.
Yes.
And when you're having these guys on the field all the time, you can't expect them to perform.
It wears on them. Yes.
When the offense is on the field for three plays and they're out.
Literally a minute of real time. Yes.
The defense guys probably just keep their helmets on the entire game.
Yeah, exactly.
And
they're eventually they're gonna start groaning as they have to get up off the bench. And
exactly.
They're like,
that's what happened to the Bills this year.
Yes.
Best defense in the league, couldn't stop Kansas City.
Yes.
Because they're on the field, for God knows how long.
I mean, they were just scoring so fast that the defense couldn't even
couldn't keep up.
Couldn't even put their jacket on. That happened to both teams. It was ridiculous.
Man, and what do you think about the overtime rule? Do you think they should change that?
Yeah, they should.
I think they should at least give the other team one chance.
Yeah, I think it should be a go back and forth kind of thing. If both teams are just continuously scoring until someone either kicks a field goal and the other team scores a touchdown, or someone just gets a stop. You know what I mean?
I mean, why not?
Yeah, I mean,
that's what the people want more.
No, college football is perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean the 2-point conversion thing's a little weird. Not gonna lie. After a while, it gets into 2-point conversions if it goes too long. But either way, starting from the 20-yard line and is a very fun thing to do.
Yeah,
I feel like that's the perfect.
I completely agree. I mean, even Josh Allen mentioned it at the NFL Honors. Cheek and tongue sort of. But it's like. I felt bad for the guy. The guy had a phenomenal game.
Yeah,
and didn't win because
no turnovers either side.
Exactly. I mean, both teams had phenomenal games, and just one team it was just run out of the clock type of situation.
Yeah, whatever team had the ball last.
Exactly. I mean, the coin toss decided the game at that point. Which is sort of a joke, but it's like, is it really? You know?
You're getting like the biggest games of the year decided by a coin toss.
Exactly.
Come on.
Exactly.
At least they're playing it for the playoffs. Just for the playoffs. You know what I mean? If you're trying to like save fatigue on the players and not like get them injured because they're playing for so long, you know what I mean? Like save it for the playoffs, because I can guarantee every single one of every single one of the players on the team would have kept playing.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like
exactly.
They're gonna go into the very end. And but I think that's good for NFL for now. We can move on to some NBA, which we have a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
Let's start with Chicago's very own DeMar DeRozan.
Man, that guy is having an unbelievable season for his career.
Nothing
right now.
A lot of people could have predicted, for sure.
Absolutely not. And the reason the Bulls, forgive me, they're in first place right now in the East. Right now, we know that in over 2-3 days that could quickly change. But it's like, you talk about, sure he has Levine and sure he has Lonzo Ball and Caruso, who've been out for a while.
Yes, exactly.
DeRozan has taken that leadership role, and he's been an example on that team, both statistically and in terms of, in the clubhouse and the locker room.
That winning culture.
Exactly. I mean, wasn't it a couple months ago, Ayo's number was retired at Illinois?
Yeah,
and he
showed up.
And
he
showed up for him.
He drove like 2.5 hours just to go see him get his jersey retired.
I mean, what does that say about his character? What does that say about the type of guy, the type of player that he is? And it's that type of mentality that produces these winning teams. You know what I mean? Like when you look at guys like Michael Jordan, for example, who's put his performance on the court on the side. What the guy brought to the team and the way he affected the other players around him was a insanely disregarded reason why that team was so powerful for so long. He brought that winning mentality. He brought 150% every single time.
Yes, of course.
And and I think DeRozan is trying to follow in the footsteps. You know, and for a city and a team as prominent as the Bulls are, it's expected. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I got some pretty insane DeMar stats here.
Let's hear them.
So he's averaging 28, 5, and 5 on 52% shooting, which is just unreal.
Yeah.
He's second in the league in clutch points. And in the clutch, he's shooting 54% from the field, 67% from 3, and 90% from the line.
67% from the 3, and 90 from the line.
Yes, and then 7 straight 35-point, 50% field goal percentage games.
That's awesome.
The Bulls are the first seed in the East, and the rest of the starters have missed 97 games combined.
I know.
That's ridiculous.
When you talk about the term carrying, that's it right there.
Yes.
I mean, we've had... You talk about guys like Caruso, Ball, Levine. These guys, they bring such strong defense.
Yes,
to
and
the
team,
energy. And the energy to the team.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And, a couple months ago, I saw a thing. DeRozan missed a crucial free throw.
Yes, and he stayed. Yes.
And did you see that?
Yes.
After the game, when the guys were cleaning up the arena, he's shooting free throws
with his jersey on still.
I mean, that's a fantastic mentality to have.
Yeah.
And I mean, talk about leading by example. You know what I mean? I mean, I hope the Bulls do everything and anything in their power to try to keep him for as long as they can. If for nothing else, for the younger guys on the team.
Yeah.
He can create that, that leading figure that they could follow.
Yeah, the next 3 years should be really freaking exciting with him.
And I think, didn't the Bulls recently sign somebody?
Tristan Thompson.
Yeah,
which is not bad. They needed another body.
Yeah.
They needed some size because all they really have is Vooch and Tony Bradley to an extent, but they're really lacking.
Right.
Especially with Patrick Williams out, who's supposed to be our 4. It really kind of hurts us a lot. And we needed some extra rebounding and just some guys to come off the bench with some energy. And that's the kind of player he is. He's an energy big man with some size, and he could rebound. And that's kind of what we're lacking.
That you hit it right on the head right there. I mean, we have great little guys. We have great threes.
Yeah.
Our 4s and 5s need some work.
We have some perimeter defense out there. We just need some inside defense, like some inside defenders, and then some rebounding.
Because that's the thing is like when we face guys like Milwaukee with Giannis and the Sixers with Embiid, it's like those guys will tear us up if we don't have a big man in the paint to play some defense.
Yeah, and we need Lonzo especially when we play the Bucks because and Caruso to an extent because they were so clutch coming around on the double teams with Giannis and just poking the ball out so many times. It was very clutch.
That's another great point right there, and that's why
active hands constantly.
Yeah, I mean, I just love the defense that those guys bring. I mean, you can't. I mean, when you look at those Bulls teams in the '90s, Phil Jackson always stressed it. Defense. And you had guys like Rodman, all those guys. Jordan, Pippen,
exactly. All elite defenders.
I mean, I think I saw a stat. Jordan has like 9 or 10 all-defensive team or some crazy thing like that. And it's like, when people look at Michael Jordan, they think of him as an elite scorer, but it's like the defense that this team brought was insane. Yeah. You know what I mean?
That's the biggest part of the team, honestly, in my opinion. And that's the thing with the Golden State Warriors when they were really good. Right. The most underrated part of their team was they were the best defensive team in the league every single year.
I didn't even notice that. Yeah. I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, Klay Thompson was one of the best on-ball perimeter defenders in the league. Draymond Green, I mean, that's what his niche is defense. Right. And then they had guys like Andrew Bogut to clog up the middle.
Oh, right.
And then KD is also an elite defender when he wants to be. I mean, for the most part, he is. It's all about effort with him, obviously. But I mean, that team was just elite defensively, and that's what winning basketball comes from. Yeah. A lot of people stress offense, but most teams in the NBA can score a little bit. I mean, it's just about whether or not can you stop other teams on the other side,
exactly,
or limit them at the very least.
Right.
So. That's going to be a key thing in the playoffs because when we get Caruso and Lonzo back, those would be some great perimeter defense that we're getting back. And then when we get Patrick Williams back, it'll be perimeter and interior defense that we are lacking extremely. Right. And I think that could pay dividends against a team like the Nets or the Bucks because they have guys like KD and Giannis. And obviously Patrick Williams is still very young. He's only like 21 years old. Mm-hmm. And he's still inexperienced in a way, but he's got that length and that size to even stand a chance against that because right now we don't have that.
Yeah, exactly. And, I think another team to pay attention to right now, they're in second place right now, is the Heat.
Yes. Right. Yes, they're a very similar style to us.
And I feel like nowadays, people don't pay attention to them, and then they'll just creep around the corner once playoff season starts, and then they'll be 3rd, 4th seed.
Yeah, Tyler Hero's been big for them also.
Him, you got guys like Butler and stuff.
Bam Adebayo,
all that stuff, and it's like, and they still have what's his name as
Kyle Lowry.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah,
they're a scary team. They're very well rounded.
Yeah, I mean the East is competitive. The East
no
is
doubt.
Really, I mean, you got the Heat, the Bucks, the Sixers, the Cavs,
the Nets,
the Celtics, and the Raptors. Mm-hmm. All teams who have fairly good defense and guys who can score. Mm-hmm. I mean, the Bulls are in first right now, and it's like...
But it's close.
It's really close. I mean, I think I saw something like whoever's in like 6th or 7th are only like 5 games behind first place.
Yeah, we could easily fall into like the 7th seed by the end of the year if we're like not careful.
Exactly.
But hopefully the hot streak can continue,
Yeah.
But besides that, how do you feel about other teams in the East, like with as far as the Ben Simmons and the James Harden trade goes?
I was actually really surprised that the Nets got as much as they did for him.
Yes, me too.
I mean, they got 3 stud players through Curry, Simmons, and Drummond, and then they got 2 first-rounders.
Yes,
for Harden. Now, I feel like if this were a couple years ago, maybe that would make sense, but I just don't know if Harden is worth that much anymore.
And he can opt out of his contract after this year.
That too. I mean, what's it called? The Sixers are really taking a risk here. I mean, don't get me wrong. The guy's an unbelievable shooter.
Yeah, he's a top 5-6 player in the league, I would say, obviously.
Right, exactly. And, I mean, but I think the Nets won that trade fairly well.
Because me too.
With the situation they have with Kyrie, I mean, he's on and off with whatever he's doing.
And he could just quit basketball at any moment. You never know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the heck that's. I don't know what he's doing with that. But then, they got arguably one of the best scorers in the league right now with KD.
Yes.
And then they got guys like Curry, Simmons, and Drummond who not only can offer offense, but their defense is insane.
Yes, exactly.
Especially Simmons, right? And then these 2 first-rounders, I mean... that's big for them, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Talking about giving Ben Simmons the best possible situation to succeed, especially like he'll be able to touch the ball, he'll be able to dish it out to, I mean, I don't know, Kevin Durant. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's literally the perfect situation for him, and it's less toxicity because Joel Embiid and him clearly didn't get along. So hopefully, I mean, KD's a bit of a personality himself, not to mention Kyrie.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, hopefully it works out for him. I mean, I've always been a fan of his game. It's just shoot a mid-range jumper at least. Like, I mean, don't be so tentative, because that's what the thing is. If you can't shoot, you can't shoot.
Right.
But being so tentative adds an element to the game where it's just detrimental to the rest of your team.
Exactly.
And not to mention the spacing issue he has, but he does everything else elite.
Right.
So it's like, man, like you take the good with the bad.
Exactly.
It's just you don't want to ruin his confidence because he's known to be somewhat fragile, I guess you could say. So,
and I think the mentality of a player is important to consider. We know that he was struggling. Let's talk about Simmons.
Yeah.
He was struggling mentally in Philly. You know, he wanted to leave. And the fact that, you know, he was able to be in the situation that he is right now, I think is good for his mental health, which therefore could affect his performance on the court. You know what I mean? And I'm blanking on the names, but the Nets have a deep roster too.
Yes, very. They have Joe Harris also.
Harris, thank you.
Yes.
They have that
Bruce
big man.
Brown. They have.
What's his name? I can't remember his name, but
hold up. I'm gonna look up the names because I don't want to forget anyone. But what's it called? They have Patty Mills, who's also very good. They have that's who it is. Lamarcus Aldridge and Blake Griffin.
Yes. Oh, Blake Griffin.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That's a great team.
I mean,
obviously.
if you look at those guys right now, and it's like that looks like a super team almost.
It's definitely a super team, no doubt.
And with Steve Nash as coaching, I mean that's
gotta love Steve Nash.
Yeah, I mean I love him too. I mean, man, the East is gonna be so fun to watch going forward.
And then how do you feel about it from the Sixers side? Do you think this is enough for them to be able to make a run to the finals potentially?
Embiid is fantastic.
Oh my God, he's such an old. He's very Hakeem Olajuwon like,
really
but
is.
Relative to the modern day.
Yeah.
With the jumper, the 3-point shooting, and all of that. But he's very Hakeem
he's
Olajuwon like.
He's a very well-rounded center.
Yes.
You know, and I feel like a team that has that is I feel like a step above a team that has, an average starting five, because that one center could hurt you from anywhere.
Yes.
And he's very dangerous. And the fact that, he can always dish it out to Harden now.
Yeah, and Harden, that pick and roll is going to be something special for sure. That could carry them to the finals. Honestly.
I agree. That's what I'm saying, man.
Like all it takes is both of them to get hot, and then good luck. I mean, and then you got Danny Green on the perimeter to shoot the ball. It's just
too.
It's really tough.
That Bucks and Sixers game in the playoffs
is gonna be something special. For sure.
Giannis and Embiid is just and then, you never know. This could also positively affect Harden. I mean, we know that Harden was
he's gonna be rejuvenated.
That too. I was reading an article this morning about how there was some tension between him and KD on the team.
Yeah, a little bit. With the ISO ball and the free moving offense.
Exactly.
And
I feel like if tension could be relieved, that's obviously a benefit. I think. And I think for the Sixers, I mean, do I think they gave up a bit too much?
Yeah,
I think so, but I hope it works well for both teams.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a scenario where they play each other in the playoffs, and that's what I want so bad.
Dude.
That's what I'm praying for. And then I hope the Bulls are just sitting there waiting on the opposite side for the Eastern Conference Final.
I completely agree. And you know what's going to be fun?
What?
Is I think the East right now is like the AFC in the NFL.
Yes.
That I think the East is more competitive as an entity itself than the West is.
Yeah, the West is very complicated.
It really is. It's messy there.
Yeah, I think there's a couple teams that are very like what they are, but the rest of it is just a big cluster.
You got guys like the Suns.
What they are.
The Warriors. The Warriors got Klay Thompson back. He had a phenomenal game the other day.
Yeah,
he scored like 16 points in the fourth quarter.
He's starting to figure it out a lot.
I mean, you got the Lakers who are a mess.
That's what I'm saying. The Nuggets they're good, but
Jokic,
they can be beaten.
Yeah, I mean, who else?
The Jazz, which are just the Jazz at this point.
Yeah, I mean, there's the Hornets, West or East?
The other East.
Oh, right.
They're at the bottom,
Yeah.
around like 8 or 9, I believe. And then the Grizzlies, which I like. I like Ja Morant a lot.
But they're lacking a little bit. I think.
Yeah, they're still lacking some depth, and they're a little top heavy.
Yeah.
I like the Mavericks. I don't see them being like that much of a threat, though, if you know what I mean.
Not really. Didn't they let what's his name go?
Porzingis.
Yeah. I mean,
they got Spencer Dinwiddie, which I don't really understand that move all that much because Kristaps provides more upside, but I guess.
I mean, you know what's crazy, right? If you look at the Jazz right now, who are in 4th place, and look at the Suns, who are in 1st. The Jazz are 12 games behind 1st place. Go to the East, right?
It's such a cluster.
The Cavs are in 4th place, but they're only 2.5 games behind the Bulls, who are in 1st.
Exactly.
I mean, it's ridiculous how competitive the East is right now. And I'm going to make a prediction right now.
Okay.
Whoever comes out of the East is winning the NBA Finals, in my opinion. And you know what? If it isn't the Bulls, I'm happy because I think the Bulls have a bright future ahead of them.
I think they're a little too early.
Little too early.
Yeah.
But their team is young, and DeRozan, I think, is still young.
Yeah, he's not young as far as age, but he feels like he's got a lot of juice left. You know.
He has that strong connection with the younger guys.
Yeah.
Almost as if like
you need an older guy.
Right. I mean, he has that older guy, younger guy mentality sort of thing, right, where he could have both sides, you know. But man, watching the East right now, especially after the All-Star break, that's going to be interesting. You know, sometimes teams get better, get worse after the All-Star break, so it's going to be interesting to see. But yeah, I think whoever comes out of the East is winning the finals because we saw what happened last year with the Bucks. I mean, they completely Giannis single-handedly overpowered
the Superstars League.
the Suns. I mean, good for him. I mean,
I didn't think it would happen. Personally,
honestly, I didn't either.
I was a big on you can't win with Ben Simmons and you can't win with Giannis just because I'm very into the new age NBA and the spacing.
Right.
That's my philosophy.
I mean,
as
with
far
Booker,
as how you win.
with Paul. I mean,
they got Cameron Johnson, DeAndre Ayton. They got some guys. They got
Crowder.
Bridges. Exactly. They had so many guys.
I really thought the Suns had it in the bag almost, but Giannis just really turned it on. I mean, and you had guys like Middleton too, who were just
Drew Holiday,
like these perfect 2-3 guys. I mean,
and they're not ball dominant guys either, so that they can let Giannis do his thing for most of the game, and they'll just fill in the blanks.
That was actually really fun finals to watch.
Yeah,
I think.
It was Suns in 4.
So many people were saying that. I mean, I was saying that.
Yeah, exactly. I was too.
And just I mean, I think if the Bucks don't have it to repeat, it's definitely going to be somebody from the East.
Yeah, I agree. But moving on to some just quick MLB. They announced about like an hour ago about the MLB the playoff format that they agreed to. So I'm gonna lay it out for anyone who hasn't heard it yet. So there's gonna be 7 playoff teams per league. The team with the best record will get a bye and automatically go to the division series. And the top remaining division winner will pick the opponent from the 4 wildcard teams and play the best of 3. And plays best of 3 all games at home. So basically, the best team in every league or in each league will get a bye, and then they will be able to pick the guy or the team that they want to play from whoever advances.
Man, dude, that sounds like it's straight out of a video game.
No, I love it. I love it so much.
I think that's gonna create such
chaos,
awesome mess that people. As a fan, I love that.
Yes,
I love that,
and that entices teams to compete too because there's more spots.
Exactly. I mean, 7 teams.
Yeah.
And the fact that the best team gets to pick out of the 4 wild cards is just crazy. I mean, man, I'm excited for that because also it creates, these matchups that we haven't seen, Yeah,
it lets a team like the Mariners and the Blue Jays get in when they would have this past year, you know what I mean?
Exactly. I think the playoffs, the MLB playoffs, I think people sort of don't gravitate toward as much because it's a series, and baseball games tend to lose people's interest just because it's a bit of a slower game.
Yeah.
But I think that with this new change in the playoffs, I think you're gonna have these teams who are gonna want to try to make it to the playoffs and do their best because a lot of teams are gonna try to fight for that spot.
Yeah, exactly. They're gonna want to spend money, and they're gonna want to try to. It's gonna entice them to want to go out and try to improve their team in the offseason instead of trying to tank and just build up their team slowly. You know what I mean? They're gonna want to try to fight for it.
Yeah, I mean, the MLB season, for me personally, tends to go by a lot quicker than I think it does.
Yes.
I mean, they play 162 games a year, and you're all of a sudden you're in July and it's an All-Star game, and it's like, wait, what?
Yeah, really.
You know,
like I feel like the just got going.
Man, I am so happy for that, because also, like, as a fan, it's like, oh, who are they gonna pick? Who are they gonna play against?
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Yes, that adds such a cool element. I didn't think they would ever do something like that.
I didn't either.
And it creates storylines. It's like,
It
oh, you
does.
picked us.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Oh, you picked us. Okay, like we're gonna show you.
Dude,
exactly. You know what I mean?
I think one of the beauties about sports is the stories that are involved with sports. You know, and it's like, you know, you really nailed it there. It creates these storylines for the playoffs, right? So it's like, let's say the Dodgers are the number 1 team in the National League, and they pick somebody like, for example, the Cardinals, right? But then you have guys like, you know, the Braves, you know, the Mets maybe, who are like, oh, so that's how it's gonna be. You didn't want to play us because we're the better team.
Yeah,
we'll see you in the championship series or something like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But man, I love that. You know, because don't get me wrong, the old format was great, but it's like, you know, I'm gonna ask my dad, who's an old timer, baseball guy, and see what he thinks. You know, because honestly, I think he's gonna be like, you know, well, why'd they change the old format?
They hate change a lot.
Yeah, they do.
The older fans hate the change.
You know, but I think, you know, guys of our generation, the younger fans, I think this is a positive for the league.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope they can get out of this lockdown or whatever they have going on, because I'm excited for the season.
Yeah.
I mean, I love spring training season. I love, because it, you know, it's the summer, it's a spring, you know, you escape the cold and you're into baseball season. You know, so yeah, I'm really excited for that.
Yeah, exactly. I miss just like watching the guy that goes off for no reason in spring training and thinking that he's like the next superstar, and then he gets to the regular season, he doesn't get a hit for first 20 at bats.
Who was the guy in the Reds who had a great season this year? India. What's his first
Jonathan
name?
India.
Jonathan India.
Yeah, he was a rookie.
Man.
Yeah, he's a great player. I love him a lot. I've been watching him since college, actually. So
you know what? Last year during the pandemic, my family was able to, because we were all working remotely. My dad was like, you know what? Let's head out to Phoenix for spring training.
Oh, that's sick.
We were there for like a couple weeks, and we were able to catch some spring training games.
That's so sick.
Man, dude, those guys are really living it up out there.
Oh, yeah.
Phoenix is a great city.
Yeah.
But in the spring, when the weather is like in the 70s and 80s, it's perfect baseball weather. Man, you just want to just, you know, grab a soda and a hot dog and just have fun.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I went out there this past summer actually too, in July, and we went to a Diamondbacks game.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was pretty sick. That's a nice stadium.
They do have a nice stadium.
Yeah, we were sitting next to the pool.
And, that's awesome.
Yeah, Christian Yelich at a splash homer right next to us. Like all the water like went on us. Yeah.
Dude, that is awesome. Sick. Do people get to like jump in the pool and grab it?
They have like I don't know how you get like the pass to be able to go into the pool, but like people like throw parties there.
There's always like a special pass for everything.
Yeah. And then like the people in the pool get the ball or whatever. It's pretty sick though.
That's awesome.
Yeah, there was like nobody there too, so like me and my friends were like trash talking Josh Reddick about like the trash cans thing about the Astros.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and he could like hear us clearly because there was like nobody at the game.
Dude, you know what? I like those creative baseball stadiums. You know what I mean? You know what actually has a really nice stadium are the Brewers.
Yes. I've been there a few times. Really
Miller
nice.
Park? Or is it not Miller Park anymore? It's like...
I don't know. I call it Miller Park, though.
Yeah, I mean, dude, they actually have a nicer stadium than I thought. I went there a couple months ago. Oh, sorry, last year. And I was like, wow, this is actually a nice stadium.
Yeah.
You know? Because, growing up here, you got Wrigley Field, you got Cellular Park, or whatever they call it now. Guaranteed rate.
The G-rate.
The G-rate park. But then, you head out to, Milwaukee, and it's, like, not bad.
Yeah.
You know what's the nicest stadium, in my opinion?
Who?
If you ever have a chance to go, the Dodgers.
Really?
Dude, they have a beautiful stadium.
You've been?
I went to LA a couple years ago.
Okay.
And it was during the off season, but they were giving tours.
Okay.
And dude, so it's in a valley, and you look out into the outfield, and they have the stands, and then they have these mountains.
Yes. I've seen it on TV, obviously.
It's beautiful, dude.
That's I can't even imagine.
It's beautiful.
Some of the better ones that I've been to, Cincinnati's really nice.
Oh, really?
Yeah, with the red seats, it pops.
That's
pops
awesome.
A lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cleveland, kind of.
I haven't been to Fenway.
Comerica's me either. I want to go eventually. Cleveland was Detroit. Detroit's cool, I guess. It's not too bad. I'm trying to think of.
Oh my gosh! I just remembered this. When I lived in D.C., I went to an Orioles game.
Okay.
Camden Yards is something else. The Orioles Park.
It looks sick. It looks sick.
It's such a shame because the team is so bad.
Yeah.
But those are dedicated fans, by the way. The people of Baltimore. The Camden Yards is where the Orioles play. It's such a nice field because there's so much history there, and it's just so nicely built and everything.
Yeah.
If you have the chance, check that one out too.
I'm excited about that.
But the Dodgers is amazing, dude. Amazing. And they have parking too, which for people guys from Chicago, it's it's a beautiful thing. But I haven't been. Oh, Yankee Stadium's nice.
Never been.
Yankee Stadium's nice, mostly for the history, and they have the number thing out in center field, which is cool.
That's cool.
But dude, I really want to go to Fenway. I mean,
yeah, that's my number one right now.
I mean, it's the oldest park is it the oldest or is Wrigley the oldest? It's one and two.
It's one of the two. It's really tough. I always forget.
But yeah, it's Boston. You got Fenway, so that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's all for this week. You can access the podcast on the library website, the SoundCloud, the YouTube, and the Apple Podcasts. So. Anything else you got to say?
No, thanks, Joey. This was awesome, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
All right, that's all for this week. Peace.